Okay, I'll share it a little later. So, okay, good afternoon, students. This is Dr. Mukul Jain, and today our topic is personal tax planning, or you can say individual tax planning. We will be talking about the various tax slabs and how to save our taxes also. So, some of you who have done your BCom or even in BBA, there is a chapter, there is a subject on tax planning. How many of you have studied this tax planning? Let me quickly know. And another thing,
Me also.
me means your good name,
Abhishek sir. Abhishek
Abhishek.
sir.
You have studied it.
Yes sir.
Okay. Who else?
Yes, sir, Harsh, this side.
Okay, okay. You have all studied it. Okay.
Sir Manish this side.
Manish,
I have
okay.
also done.
Okay, you have also done. So maybe, you know, so please add something to what I am saying, and so that, you know, we can have a more refined knowledge today.
Yes,
And
sir.
I happen to watch some other faculties' lectures. I have seen some of you open up your videos also, and there you are so interactive. Uh, and in my session, nobody's video is on. I have seen one Mr. Manish, his video is on, and some girls also there, Shweta. So,
Yes sir. My video is also on, but I have given my PC to my brother for giving the exam. So that's why I'm logging to my mobile sir, and the camera is not working.
okay, so so others can also put on your cameras. In fact, I have never not seen you people. So if some of you can put on your cameras, what is the problem in my session? If you can put on your cameras in other sessions, and and I want a lot of interactions. In other sessions, you were doing a lot of interactions. Okay, well, as you know, income tax, first of all, basics of income tax is that income tax is payable by every individual, and it is the duty to pay tax. And taxation is such an arrangement that there is no quid pro quo. Quid pro quo is a uh,
Something in
Latin
return.
word, something in return. So it's not necessary that government will give you something in return. In fact, government is providing something in return to all the citizens, whether they are paying taxes or not taxes. We make use of the government's roads. We make use of the government's law and order, um, defense, etc. So utilize all the government's resources. So this is the main source of revenue for the government. So paying taxes is the duty, is the obligation of any individual. As far as income tax is concerned, whatever we earn in one financial year, as most of you know, that financial year in India is from 1st of April to 31st of March. So many times this financial year may also be known as the earning year or the previous year, and then the income will be assessed in the following year. So that following year becomes the assessment year. So for example, whatever income we have earned in the financial year 1920, that is till 31st August, sorry, from 1st of April of 2019 to 31st of March of 2020, that was financial year 1920. So now we will be assessed in this financial year, that is 2021. So 2021 becomes the assessment year for us. Okay, so first of all, a little basics, and then we will come to how to save taxes also. So now I am presenting my screen, because otherwise, you know, you see two images. So I think you are able to see this slide, basic principles of
Yes, sir.
income tax. Okay, fine,
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
fine. So, you know, there is an old saying that income tax and death are the only two inevitable things in life. It's a proverb that as sure as death. Similarly, for income tax also, it is said that once you are liable to pay income tax, and even after 10 years, 15 years, the income tax authorities can extract the taxes from you with interest and with fines. Right. So, okay. So we will. So some of the tax rates, like in India, we have tax rates from 5% to 30%. In Brazil, for example, 7.5% to 27.5%. In China, it is 3% to 45%. In Denmark, it starts from 38% to 65%. In Japan, it is 5 to 50%. Netherlands, 5.85 to 52%. Russia, it's a flat rate. UK again 0 to 45. USA again 0 to around 48%. So in India, we have a fairly, our government says that it is a fair rate of taxes which we are imposing on our citizens. Now, Income Tax Act, we call it Income Tax Act 1961. Every year, a budget is presented in the Parliament on, nowadays it is presented on 1st of February. So, which becomes the finance bill. And once it is passed by both the houses of the Parliament, that is Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha, then it becomes the Finance Act. And when it is signed by the President, it becomes the Finance Act of that year. So then it is merged with the Income Tax Act 1961. So it extends to whole of India. It has got so many sections and schedules. Okay. Okay. So we will just now some important definitions of income tax. Number one, who is a person? According to income tax, a person for them it could be an individual like you and me. It could be a business firm. It could be AOP. What is AOP? Anybody? What is AOP?
Association of person.
Yes, very good. Who is this? Your good name?
Manish Kumar.
Manish, yes, very right. And BOI? BOI is body of individuals. Okay. HUF is very common.
Hindu undivided family.
Yes. Yes. So in the eyes of the law, income tax law, they call them all persons. As what is association of persons? If very quickly, who is what do you mean by AOP? Association of persons and body of individuals. If you have studied in your graduation.
Sir, association of person means partnership firm or...
So that will be known as firm then, partnership firm or proprietorship firm. That is a firm itself. That will come in firm. Yes, firm is an association of persons who have joined together to meet some common goals of profit, or it could be a profit objective, and then you call it firm when you get it registered, etc. But AOP is, as the name indicates, it is association of persons, and persons can be a firm, persons can be individuals, persons can be any institutions, when they join together to do an event. For example, body of individuals is also like that, but body of individuals only contains individual, that is biological individual person. For example, I give you a very simple example. For example, you people must have organized some fates in your school and in your college up till now. So sometimes in some colleges, the college or the school authority says that students, you can organize a mela, a fete in the school or college, and then you set up stalls, you sell the tickets, and then you earn something out of it. You have stalls like you have snacks stalls, or you call some singer over there, you give him his fees, but you charge from the people, and in that process you make money. A group of students have made a money. So you had not formed any permanent firm, a partnership firm. It was just for that event that you had collected together and you had done some event and you had earned money out of it. So that then you will be known as body of individuals. So you are also then subjected to pay to income tax if your income exceeds the income tax limits. That is body of individuals. Association of persons is also like this, but association of persons means, for example, there are so many institutes. For example, our institute is on Sona Road. There are other universities and institutes. Tomorrow, suppose we join together and we organize a big event and we earn money out of that event. Right? Maybe a recruitment drive, or maybe a big, we call a celebrity and we hold a or we hold a conference. So that will be known as association of persons. So association of persons can include individuals also, it can include institutions and firms also. Yes, please, yes.
Sir,
Yeah.
self-help group will be in this AOP.
Yes, self-help groups can be either body of individuals or can also be AOP also. Yes, they can be. If in a, because self-help groups are mainly, you know, in microfinance, in micro insurances, a lot of self-help groups are used so that the loan, microfinance loan is given collectively to self-help groups. And self-help groups are involved in a lot of social activities also. Yes, that can also be called as AOP and BOL. If HUF, Hindu Undivided Family, who will tell me what is HUF? What is the concept of HUF?
When a business is run by a Hindu family,
Yes.
like with a joint family, or all the rights includes with the karta.
Right. Okay. But what is the benefit of HUF? You are Manish.
Yes, sir.
What is the benefit of HUF?
Single ownership, single ownership.
So the only Karta has to pay the taxes and the rest of the family member enjoy it.
They
Limited
don't have to.
liability.
Yes. They don't have to pay the taxes. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll tell you one more, the most important concept, which because we have all studied it, but we have not understood the main concept behind HUF. Now I am going to tell you. वो जो आपने बताइए, these are operational things which are right. But what is the main idea of starting a HUF? Number one, as the name indicates, any Hindu male person can start a HUF. But that male member should be a married person. And in Hindus, everybody is covered in India except Muslims and Christians. So whether you are a Sikh, whether you follow Buddhist religion, Arya Samaji or Jainism, they are all considered Hindus according to this income tax law. And this law has been coming since British period. And in 1961 Act also it was included, until now it is here. So what we can do, for example, I have an income, Mukul Jain, I have some income, I have the income of, let's say, some salary income. Plus, I also do some investments in, say, shares or in property, buying and selling. So what I can do, I can put my salary income, it will be in my name only, in the name of Mukul Jain. But I can start another entity called Mukul Jain HUF. So HUF will be used as a suffix. So Mukul Jain is a different entity and Mukul Jain HUF will be a different entity. Since I fall under this category of Hindu and I am a married male, so I can start my HUF. So my salary income can go in the name of Mukul Jain and my other incomes can go under HUF. So I will have to open a different bank account in the name of Mukul Jain HUF. I will have to take a different PAN number for Mukul Jain HUF, because in the eyes of law, Mukul Jain HUF is a different entity and Mukul Jain is a different entity. So the main purpose is to save taxes, because as some of you know, and I am going to discuss the tax slabs, I will avail all the tax slabs, all the tax exemptions and deductions in Mukul Jain HUF also. So that is the benefit. And who can be the members of my HUF? I will be the Karta. And my members will be my spouse, my children. So my descendants will be the members of that. Similarly, like if my father starts a HUF, so my father will be the Karta in his HUF, and my mother will be the member. He has got 3 sons, so 3 sons, their wives, so his daughter-in-laws, the grandchildren, they all will be the members of that HUF. Similarly, all the 3 sons can also start their own HUFs also. But in my HUF, my brother cannot be a member, my father, mother cannot be a member, because they are my ascendants. Only my descendants and my spouse can be the members of a person's HUF. So in a family where there is a good income, there can be so many HUFs. So the main benefit is that income can be divided into so many other heads. तो अगर हमारी फैमिली में भी देखें तो वी आर 3 ब्रदर्स, जरूरी नहीं हम एक साथ रहें, हम लोग अलग अलग रह रहे हैं, बट वी आर पार्ट ऑफ द फैमिली ट्री. सो मेरे फादर का एक HUF हो सकता है और हम 4 इनकम्स है ना, मेरे फादर की और 3 ब्रदर्स की, तो 4 इनकम वो है, 4 हमने HUF अपने बना लिए, तो 4 इनकम को हमने 8 में डिवाइड कर दिया. तो 8 में डिवाइड करते हैं तो हमें स्लैब रेट्स का वो सारे बेनिफिट्स हमको मिलेंगे. HUF का ये फायदा होता है. और उसमें जरूरी नहीं आप उस HUF के अंडर में आप बिजनेस करिए, आप कोई भी इन्वेस्टमेंट करिए, आपकी जो एक्स्ट्रा इनकम आ रही है वो आप HUF के इनकम में डाल सकते हैं. राइट. I will give you a illustration also as we go forward. Now, any doubt in this? ये है इसका मेन कॉन्सेप्ट एक्चुअली HUF का. To save the income tax, to create another head of income. Now, who is an SSE?
Person who is liable to pay tax to the government
Yes.
in the
Pay
previous
tax.
year.
Yes.
Correct. So, for example, I am a SSE, so I have to fill up my income tax returns for financial year 1920. Generally, the last date for filing the returns is 31st of July, but this year it has been extended because of the COVID situation. Assessment year. So 2021, as I told you at the very outset, 2021 is the assessment year for previous year. That is 1920. Similarly, 2021 will be the previous year for 21-22. So for this financial year, our assessment will be 2021-22. Assessment is done by the income tax authorities. Income, how do you define income? Income is it could be a regular income. It could be a one-time income. Doesn't matter in the eyes of income tax law. Suppose you are a property dealer, और you property dealer है, या आप ने पूरे साल कुछ काम नहीं किया, only you had purchased a property and in one go you have sold the property and you have made, let's say, 20 lakh rupees out of it. The whole year you didn't have any income, so 20 lakh also doesn't matter. You have to pay income tax on it because you have crossed the income tax threshold limit. So income can be a regular income. Income could be a one-time income. Income could be regular, irregular. But income should come from outside. Income, it should not happen that income from head office is going to the branch office. It's not an income because it is from the same company. The income has been rotated. It doesn't mean that I have taken money from one pocket to another pocket. That doesn't. It's not an income. Dividend is also considered as an income. Dividend is given by companies, on the profits which they make. Assessing once again, dividend distribution tax. Yeah.
Corporate dividend.
Okay, this we have assessment here. We have explained to you. Residential status, actually we will come to it maybe if the time permits. We'll do. Okay. What is an income? Okay, I just want to go to the tax slabs first of all. As far as now this, we are talking about financial year 2021, for which the assessment year will be 21-22. If you are claiming deduction now this year, from this financial year, there are 2 tax slabs. Before I show you, who will tell me दो tax slab में क्या major difference क्या है? I'll just minimize it for the time being. Let me test you. If you have heard this year's budget, तो 2 अलग-अलग तरीके के tax slabs हैं. क्या-क्या हैं वो?
सर इंडिविजुअल सर जो 60 के नीचे उसके लिए तो नॉर्मल 2.5 लाख का एग्जेम्पशन है, और जो 60 से अबव है 80 से नीचे है उनके लिए 3 लाख से चालू है स्लैब. मतलब पहले वो छोड़ देते 2.5 को 2.5 नहीं लेते 3 तक देते हैं.
समझ गया. चलिए आगे.
और जो 80 के ऊपर है उनको 5 लाख से फिर 10 लाख के ऊपर देते हैं. एग्जाम्पशन।
नहीं, ये तो वो पिछले 10 साल से चला आ रहा है, ये मॉडल तो पिछले 10 साल से चला आ रहा है। इस साल क्या नया किया है?
सर
ये
इस
पूछना
साल
था।
एक्स्ट्रा ये हुआ कि पहले लोगों को 10 लाख के ऊपर 15% देना पड़ता था, 7.5 से मतलब 5 लाख से 7.5 के बीच में देना पड़ता है 10%।
ओके, चलिए चलिए, हाँ थोड़ा सा आपने क्लोज बताया है। इस साल चेंज क्या किया है? वंस अगेन आई विल गो बैक टू।
Sir, we have the two option for this year.
हाँ, ये कौन बोल रहे हैं? टू ऑप्शंस?
Yes, sir.
Who are
Harsh
you?
this side.
Harsh, yes, please.
Sir, one is
Carry
the
on.
existing one, that was the 250 lakh to the 5 lakh
Correct.
criteria, and
Correct,
we have
correct.
the second option for starting from the 5 lakh to the 10 lakh. In the existing, it will carry on as it usual. From the 5 lakh criteria, we have to pay 20% above the 5 lakh.
Okay, fine, good, Harsh. See, this year we have got two formulas for calculating our tax. You can say like that. We have got two options. So you can choose any one of the options. So दो अलग अलग रेट्स हैं, दो अलग अलग फॉर्मूले हैं। जो फॉर्मूला आपको सूट करता है वो आप अपने ऊपर एप्लीकेबल कर सकते हैं। ये फर्स्ट टाइम इस साल के लिए किया है, ये जो साल अब शुरू हुआ है 1 अप्रैल से। एक तो पहले वाला फॉर्मूला है, पहले हम उसको देखते हैं, फिर नया फॉर्मूला क्या है और दोनों में क्या फर्क है। लेट अस सी दैट। दिस इज, ये तो पिछले कुछ सालों से चला आ रहा है। इफ यू आर क्लेमिंग डिडक्शन एंड एग्जेम्पशंस, ये भी मैं आपको समझाऊंगा। अभी क्या है फॉर्मूला, ये अभी भी है अप टू 2.5 लाख। देयर इज इंडिविजुअल, सो देयर आर 3 कैटेगरीज ऑफ पीपल, एज यू नो जस्ट नाउ किसने, मनीष ने बताया, बोला था शायद। 60 ईयर्स से बिलो, जिसमें जिनको हम बोलते हैं जनरल सिटीजन, उसमें हम और आप सब लोग आ जाते हैं। एक है क्राइटेरिया जो 60 ईयर से अबव है, सीनियर सिटीजन, बट बिलो 80 ईयर दे आर सीनियर सिटीजन। फिर है सुपर सीनियर सिटीजन, दोज हु आर अबव 80 ईयर्स ऑफ एज। तो अप टू 2.5 lakh, nil, no taxes to be paid, because this is a basic amount government feels that which is required for, you know, basic livelihood, basic fooding, clothing and shelter. So they don't want to tax on it. Now 2.5 lakh to 3 lakh, that is next 50,000. Yes, for general citizen it is taxed at the rate of 5%. For senior citizens, that is 60 years and above but below 80 years, no tax is there. तो इनका जो एक्चुअली स्लैब शुरू होता है 3 लाख से शुरू होता है। आपने देखा, देखिए 5%, सी माई कर्सर ऑल्सो। और सुपर सीनियर सिटीजन के लिए नील है, तो उनका लिए 5 लाख, 3 लाख टू 5 लाख के लिए भी नील है। तो उनका 5 लाख के बाद ही उनका टैक्स शुरू होता है। फॉर सीनियर सिटीजन 3 lakh to 5 lakh is 5%, and for general citizen also 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh you can say is 5% only. Then 5 lakh to 10 lakh, that is next 5 lakh rupees is 20% here. 20, this is the same for all the 3 categories, and 10 lakh and above it is 30% for all the 3 categories. So only the difference is that for general citizens exemption is up to 2.5 lakh, for senior citizen exemption is up to 3 lakh, for senior citizen exemption is up to 5 lakh. However, with this formula, हाँ इसमें एक और है कि आपको 4% का सेस भी लेना पड़ता है। नाउ आई शो यू अनदर स्लाइड, उसमें और इकट्ठा आपको देखने को मिलेगा। हाँ, now you see this once again. This is another way of depicting it. Up to 2.5 lakh nil, this is general public. 2.5 lakh to 5 lakh 5%, 5 to 10 lakh 20%, above 10 lakh 30%. Senior citizen 60 to 80 years, up to 3 lakh nil, 3 to 5 lakh 5%, 5 to 10 20, above 10 lakh 30. Very senior citizen or super senior citizens more than 80 years of age, up to 5 lakh nil, 5 to 10 lakh 20. And फिर एक और इनकम बैंड है। If your income is less than 50 lakh in a year, financial year, then surcharge, there is an additional surcharge, will be 0%. If your income crosses 50 lakh in a year, 50 lakh to 1 crore, then an additional surcharge at the rate of 10% has to be given. If the income is 1 crore to 2 crore, then surcharge rate will increase to 15%. If the income is above 2 crore up to 5 crore, then surcharge rate will further increase to 25%. and if the income is more than 5 crores in a year, then the surcharge rate will be 37%. और जो भी आपका फाइनल इनकम टैक्स बनेगा उसके ऊपर हेल्थ एंड एजुकेशन सेस ऑफ 4% will be there. Then there is a rebate also of 12,500 for income up to 5 lakh under section 87A. इसको एक बार आपको कैलकुलेट करके दिखाते हैं. टैक्स कैलकुलेशन, ये देखिए मैंने आज किसी और को भी पढ़ा रहा था तो उसमें ये मैंने let us say somebody's income is total income. Are you able to see? I am typing it. I am treating it as a blackboard.
Yes, sir.
Let's say somebody's total income is rupees 12 lakh in a year. ठीक है, तो 12 लाख में कैसे हम कैलकुलेट करेंगे? फर्स्ट 2.5 lakh is at the rate of 0%. This is equal to, so tax becomes 0. इसको डिवाइड करेंगे हम, we will split this 12 lakh income. फिर है सेकंड 2.5 lakh at the rate of 5%, equal to 2.5 lakh का 5% होगा 12,500. So government says कि that this is called slab rate. So first 2.5 lakh, which is needed for basic necessities, so government is not charging. Another 2.5 lakh, government says, okay, I will charge you tax, but it will be at a very nominal rate of 5%. Now, if you have earned more than 5 lakh, that is 2.5 plus 2.5. So next slab is, that is next 5 lakh का slab है, 5 lakh. So this is at the rate of, straight away it is 20%. So basically it is like government is saying now, many people are, they have very paltry income. Now you are earning more than 5 lakh. So now any income if you earn, that is you will be probably spending on luxury. So give us 20% on that. So this is 20% of 5 lakh will be how much?
1 lakh.
1 lakh. So 10 lakh हो गया ना, 2.5 plus 2.5, 5 plus 5, 10. So अभी कितना बचा है? 2 lakh बचा है. So balance in his income balance 2 lakh will be, now this is above 10 lakhs. Government says अगर 10 lakh से ऊपर कमा लिए तो बहुत ज्यादा लग्जरी हो गई आपके लिए. इसमें we want 30% tax. So this is equal to, so to balance 2 lakh का 30% कितना हो गया? 60,000. So total tax, which becomes
1,72,500.
1,72,500. ये इसका टैक्स बन गया. प्लस यू हैव टू ऐड वॉट एवर टैक्स, ये हर एक के लिए ऐड 4%
surcharge.
4%, not surcharge. This is called health and education.
Education cess.
Health.
HESC.
And just for some of the students, I am typing it. Cess. On. ये किसके ऊपर लगेगा? On 1 lakh जो टैक्स आया 500, which is equal to, इसका कितना बनेगा?
6,900. 6,900.
6,900. Okay, 6,900. So add to it. So total tax payable is equal to
1,79,400.
अच्छा, आपने कैलकुलेट कर दिया. वेरी गुड. 1,79,400. So this will be the total tax payable for a person who has earned 12 lakh rupees. Now, how this person can save his tax? मैंने इसी में देखिए दूसरा इलस्ट्रेशन किया हुआ ताकि मैं इसको
While showing the investment or health.
हाँ.
Sir,
for
actually, hello.
Yes.
So actually, I wanted to ask something. You have taken 30% ever at 12 lakhs, right? But current scenario is on 12 lakh, it is 20% or 25%, I think, not 30%.
My dear, what I am saying is that I told you that there are two formulas today. You are talking about the other formula. So this formula also exists today. So I am coming to that. There is another tax slab. I am coming to that. What you are saying is either you calculate by this formula. So now I have used this 5%, 20%, 30%. But here you can claim deduction and exemption. But if you don't want to claim deduction, then there is another formula. This is up to 2.5 lakh, same nil. 2.5 to 5 lakh, 5%. 5 to 7.5 lakh, 10%. अभी तक 10% नहीं था. इस फॉर्मूले में 10% है. Then 7.5 lakh income to 10 lakh income, 15%. Then 10 lakh to 12.5 lakh is 20%. Then 12.5 to 15 lakh is 25%. Then 15 lakh and above is 30%. अब मुझे ठीक है ना, तो ये दो फॉर्मूले से मुझे ये देखना है मुझे किसमें फायदा है. अब मैं आई एम गोइंग वंस अगेन by this formula. If I calculate according to this formula, my tax is coming to 1,79,400. But if I apply second formula का मैंने यहाँ किया हुआ second alternative. Can you see this second alternative tax slab? Now this is person XYZ. He's also aged say 40 years and this. So he also has 12 lakh. ये दूसरे फॉर्मूले को अडॉप्ट करता है. तो इसमें क्या है, फर्स्ट 2.5 लाख, इसमें 2.5 लाख के स्लैब्स हैं. तो पहला 2.5 लाख 0%, ये बड़ा सिंपल है. सेकंड 2.5 लाख एट द रेट ऑफ 5%, 12,500. थर्ड 2.5 लाख at the rate of 10%, which is 25,000. Fourth 2.5 lakh at the rate of 15%, which is 37,500. Fifth 2.5 lakh, that is balance. So total हो गया ना 12 lakh. 5, 10 नहीं, ये थोड़ा ज्यादा लगा दिया. 2.5 लाख नहीं, ये 2 ही लाख बचेगा यहाँ पर. मतलब वैसे तो 2.5 लाख का स्लैब है, तो 2 लाख का 20% कितना हो गया, 40,000. ठीक है ना. यहाँ देखिए 5 यहाँ हो गया, 5 यहाँ 10 और 2 12 लाख होगी ना इसकी, तो 40. इन सबको ऐड कर दीजिए तो ये हो जाएगा 1,20,000 इसका 37, और ये हो गया 50,000, 50 और 40, 90 और 1,15,000 बैठेगा. यस, 1,15,000 विल बी द टोटल टैक्स एट. इसमें 4% सेस आ जाएगा. 4% सेस विल बी 115,000 into 4% is equal to 4,600. 4,600 इनको ऐड करो प्लस 115,000. This is equal to
1,19,600.
1,19,600.
1,600 will be the tax. So if I compare, there is a lot of difference. इस फॉर्मूले से गवर्नमेंट ने ये फॉर्मूला दिया है, इसमें आ रहा है 1,19,600 और इसमें सीधे आ रहा है 1,79,000. So minus 1,79,400. So straight away 59,800 difference is there, or approximately 60,000 rupees difference is there. So definitely you will say that this formula is much better. Why anybody will go with that formula?
सर उसमें डिडक्शंस मिलेंगे उस वाले में.
Yes. So government has said this is a flat formula. Whatever you are doing investment, etc., any exemptions will not be. You cannot claim. You cannot avail any deduction and exemption. This is what I was coming to. So now you see this illustration here. मैं इसकी डिटेल आपको अभी बताऊंगा, बस शॉर्ट में. अब फिलहाल ये समझिए कि गवर्नमेंट का एक सेक्शन 80C है अंडर दिस इनकम टैक्स एक्ट. देयर इज अ सेक्शन 80C. देयर आर सो मेनी स्कीम्स अंडर दिस लाइक PPF, एम्प्लॉय प्रोविडेंट फंड, इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम, LIC इंश्योरेंस प्रीमियम. देन देयर आर पेंशन प्लान्स. देन देयर इज NSC, नेशनल सेविंग सर्टिफिकेट. देन देयर इज अ हाउसिंग लोन प्रिंसिपल अमाउंट. देन देयर इज ट्यूशन फीस फॉर द चिल्ड्रन.
सर एजुकेशन के अंडर भी है इसमें.
एजुकेशन बताया ना अभी, ट्यूशन फीस फॉर द चिल्ड्रन. तो उसमें अगर आप, उसकी लिमिट है, मैक्सिमम लिमिट 1.5 लाख, 1.5 लाख है. अगर ये इन्वेस्ट करते हैं तो इसमें लेस कर सकते हैं. सिमिलरली एक सेक्शन है 80D, ये सी माई कर्सर, इसमें यू आर बाइंग हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस प्लान फॉर योरसेल्फ एंड योर फैमिली एंड यू आर पेइंग प्रीमियम अप टू 25,000, दिस आल्सो यू कैन डिडक्ट। फिर हम एक और सेक्शन आता है 80E, लेस रिडक्शन। इसमें अगर इफ यू हैव टेकन एजुकेशन लोन and you have started paying the installments of your education loan, so whatever interest you have paid in that financial year, so here I have assumed that the person has less deduction under 80C 1.5 lakh, 80D में उसने 25,000 का इंश्योरेंस लिया है, 80E में ही इज पेइंग इंटरेस्ट ऑफ 25,000। एक और प्लान होता है नेशनल पेंशन स्कीम प्लान, सेल्फ रन अकाउंट 80 CCD 1B, उसमें 50,000 भी अगर वो अपने पेंशन प्लान में डालता है तो ये कितना हो गया 1.5 प्लस 50 2,50,000। तो 2,50,000 अगर ये इन्वेस्ट करता है, उसकी रिसीप्ट्स हैं, तो उसकी टैक्सेबल इनकम कितनी हो जाएगी 12 लाख माइनस स्ट्रेट अवे 2.5 लाख, सो दिस विल बी 9.5 लाख। तो 9.5 लाख का अगर हम निकालते हैं उसकी टैक्सेबल इनकम से, सो फर्स्ट 2.5 लाख 0%, नेक्स्ट 2.5 लाख 5%, 12,500, नेक्स्ट कितना बचेगा 5 और 4.5 बचेगा, 4.5 लाख एट द रेट ऑफ 20%, 90,000। सो हिज टैक्स इज 1,02,500 एंड 4%, ये अभी हमने कैलकुलेट करेंगे एनीवे ऑन 102,500, इसका 4% आ जाएगा 102,500 into 4% is equal to 4,100। इन दोनों को आप प्लस करेंगे, प्लस 102,500, so his tax outgo will be 106,600। तो इसमें हमारा कितना आया था, सॉरी 1,19,600। तो उसने थोड़ा सेव कर ही लिया ना, 1,619 से यहाँ पर इसका कितना बन रहा है 1,06,600, और जो उसको एक इन्वेस्टमेंट का ऑप्शन भी मिल गया। अगर किसी को वाकई इन्वेस्टमेंट करना होता है उसमें, तो वहां पर वो इन्वेस्टमेंट भी कर रहा है लेकिन उसको कोई बेनिफिट भी नहीं मिल रहा। यहाँ वो हाँ, किसी को इन्वेस्टमेंट करना ही नहीं है ये, उसके लिए तब फायदा है वहां पर, अदरवाइज यहाँ पर दिस मनी विल बी यूज्ड बाय हिम इन फ्यूचर, दिस for this person. So you have got two options today, so you can avail of this formula or you can avail of the other formula, so which is the new thing in this financial year. Now if
this formula, sir, if this is the previous one with deductions is providing more facility to the people, like if people can save tax, then why to go for the other one?
Yeah, because people, there is a huge diversity of people in the country. So this year, according to the finance minister, she said in her budget speech that in Western world all these deduction and exemptions facilities not given to the taxpayers. So we also, over a period of time, we want to go to that Western model. We want to be called as a modern country. So but straight away we don't want to change to that model, so therefore we will stick to the old model also, and we have come out with a new model also. So slowly and steadily, maybe after 4-5 years we may discontinue with the earlier model, and the government will say this is the new model wherein no deduction and exemption facility will be given. This is because some of the people, they feel to save taxes, we have to unnecessarily, buy government schemes and be stuck up for 20 years, 15 years. And I don't want to get stuck up in those schemes. So for that, government has given that option. Right. Now, Rishabh Kumar, Divyanshu Bishta says, sir, please teach me tax evasion. I don't want to pay tax. Okay. Harsh Singh is saying help in building nation. Okay, if you earn, then you have to pay. Okay, in some for some of the earlier question, nation has enough money. Divyanshu, there are many illegal ways to save tax. Harsh Singh is saying it has, because we pay tax. If we do not pay, where it will get. Nitin Kumar is saying you pay the tax, that is the income. See, Divyanshu, first of all, You are saying, please teach me tax evasion. You have used the wrong word. Divyanshu Base, please say yes. Where are you?
Yes, sir, I'm here.
You are there. You have used the wrong word. You should have said, sir, please teach me tax planning. Tax evasion is theft of the tax. It's a wrong word. Tax planning is the right word.
Sure, sir.
We also teach this in the class. What is the difference between tax planning, tax evasion? Tax evasion means that by dubious means, by illegal means, you are trying to dodge the government. For example, if I am a businessman, I will not buy my goods through bills. I will buy my goods through number two. That means I will not pay GST, sales tax, and then there will be no income. And so I will not pay even income tax also. So that is tax evasion. Or I do some forgery, I don't show my income at all. That is tax evasion. Tax planning is what we were talking about, that I should know what are the government sections, rules and regulations. So according to that, I plan my investments and then save. Now you see this in detailed slide. Deductions from gross income. So the various sections which I was talking about. What are deductions? Deductions are the permissible amount by which the gross total income is reduced to arrive at the total income liable to tax. So like I just now I showed you through my illustration कि हमने कैसे 12 लाख की इनकम को 9.5 लाख कर लिया था. We made our income reduced by 2.5 lakh. So deductions are intended to act as incentive to the SSC for achieving certain economic objectives. So finally, if you go to this illustration, this person was paying tax of 1,79,400 in the older slab without any investment. And now after doing investment of 2.5 lakh, this he's paying 1,06,600. So how much tax he has saved? Minus 1,79,000. कितना आया था? 1,79,400. Rather, that how much tax he has saved? He has saved taxes of 72,800. उसने अपना टैक्स बचा लिया by investing rupees 2.5 lakh. And this he has not given as a charity to anybody. This is his own money, which he has used for investments, and this money will be used in future by him only, and he will earn on this amount. So typically his real investment has been 2.5, that is 2,50,000 minus 72,800. So his real investment has been 1,77,200 only. Because if he had not saved, he would have paid tax to the government. So by investing 2.5 lakh, he has saved 72,800. So his effective investment has been 2.5 lakh minus 72,800 has been 1.77 lakh only. So this is called tax planning. So that is why in my slide we are saying that this is called deductions. जितना उसने invest किया वो deduct हो गया उसके income से. Government says that you have invested in PPF, EPF, you have invested in your health insurance plan, you have invested in your pension plan, so I will not charge tax on it. So you reduce this amount from your annual income. So therefore, deductions are intended to act as an incentive to the SSC for achieving certain economic objectives. So not only the economic objectives of that individual is being met, the economic objectives of the government are also being met. So categories of deductions. So basically why these deductions and savings are there? They encourage saving and investment. अगर ये नहीं होंगे तो लोग करेंगे ही नहीं फिर saving. For certain personal expenditure also it's there. In certain cases, for socially desirable activities like pension plans, etc., health insurance plan, and there are certain sections for physically disabled persons also. For example, 80Cs are the most popular deduction. So it is applicable to individual and HUF. That is why I told you that people form an HUF. Whatever deduction and exemptions I get as an individual, if I have another HUF, so I become two persons. I will get the same deduction and exemption in the HUF also. So for example, what are the various schemes under 1.5 lakh under section 80C? So let me add over here schemes under section 80C. Number 1, equity linked saving schemes or mutual fund. Mutual funds have got hundreds of schemes. There is one scheme called ELSS scheme, equity linked saving scheme. If you have invested any money in this, that also you can claim as deduction. Then there is another scheme called Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana of Post Office. This was launched by this NDA government led by Mr. Modi. This is for the girl child. If any family has a girl child up to 12 years of age, the parents can open a scheme, can deposit some money in the name of that girl child. So whatever money you deposit, you can also claim. Then for senior citizens, there is a scheme of post office or bank, senior citizen savings scheme. Then if you have taken any housing loan and you are paying any EMI for that, that also you can avail. Okay, and then for example, you will be studying. So whatever fees you are paying, your parents can claim this as a deduction. Then if you have invested in a 5-year fixed deposit of either from a bank or a post office, then you have life insurance premium, whatever from LIC or any insurance company, whether it is ICICI Prudential, whether it is HDFC Life or Kotak Mahindra. So whatever life insurance premium you pay, that also you can claim. Then if you are an employee, your up to 12% of your basic salary can be deducted for employee provident fund. So that portion also you can claim. Then there is another plan called PPF, Public Provident Fund. It's of 15 years. So you can open it on your own. So whatever contribution you are paying into that also you can avail. And if you have any pension plan or superannuation plan either by your employer or on your own, then whatever contribution you make, that also you can claim. Then there is another very famous plan called NSC, National Savings Certificate from post offices. So these are some of the schemes under 80C. So you can invest 1.5 lakh in either one of the schemes or in all the schemes together, or 2 or 3 schemes, whichever suits you. So these are a wide variety of choices. Any questions? Am I still online?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any questions?
Yes, sir. I have a question.
Nitin Kumar says that you pay the tax, that's the income of the nation. There are many legal ways also. Yes, this is what we are talking. There are many legal ways. So you have to save your taxes. You have to do tax planning for that. So these are legal ways to save our taxes.
Sir, we will be taught all this in detail in our further courses.
Incidentally, there is a subject which I am currently teaching in the 4th trimester to the students, which is called corporate tax planning. In that, I am covering the income tax also and all the corporate taxes also. So incidentally, the subject is not there in the earlier trimesters. So that is why I thought that I myself, suggested that let us have this topic in the foundation program, because this is a very useful topic and it's a very practical subject, because everybody has to pay taxes, whether you are an engineer or you are a doctor. So we must know these basic rules. Right. So
Sir, I have
today,
a question.
yes.
Sir, out of these two formula, if we go with one,
Yes.
so for the next year we have to stick with this, and we have the option to change it.
You have the option to change. That is the beauty. Government, and it's a good question you have asked. You don't have to stick to one formula. Every year you can change your formula. So there is no foundation as such on the individual.
Okay, sir.
So instead of investing in this government scheme, we can also invest in stocks.
But you
Like
will not
the-
get any deductions if you invest in stocks. These are specified schemes.
So like dividend income is also exempted till rupees 10 lakh because the company already paid the DDT.
Yes. See, right now we are talking about deductions, and what you are saying is also right, but that is called exemption. So we also have to know. Okay, chalo, quickly, let me also give you another slide wherein which are the incomes which are exempted. Deduction, exempt incomes. हाँ चलिए, let me show you this slide. कौन कौन सी इनकम एग्जेम्प्टेड है हमारे कंट्री जिनके ऊपर टैक्स नहीं लगता. फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम फ्रॉम अ लैंड सिचुएटेड इन इंडिया व्हिच इज यूज्ड फॉर द पर्पस ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर वेयर द रेवेन्यू इज derived फ्रॉम द etc. Then received by a member from his HUF. Just now we were talking, for example, if Daburs का हमने फैमिली ट्री दिखाया हुआ है, डाबर्स के हेड हैं, डाबर इज अ बिग इंडस्ट्रियल ग्रुप, तो उनकी फैमिली में इतने सारे, अगर मिस्टर डॉक्टर SK बर्मन का अगर HUF है तो SK बर्मन will give the tax on the HUF, but all the members will not give the tax. So any money received by them is, so any amount received by a member from his HUF out of the estate of the income of the HUF is not taxable in the hands of the member. Then share of profit received by a partner from his partnership firm, because once the partnership firm pays the tax, whatever the share of the profit is received by the partners is exempt in the hands of the partner under section 2 subsection 2A. Then if you are working as an employee in a company, you get LTC or LTA, leave travel assistance or leave travel concession from your employer to go on leave, and to, they pay you the traveling expenses to go for excursion for an holiday. So whatever money you are receiving is also non-taxable. So they have written, by air it can be economic, it should be economic class fare, by rail up to first class AC, etc. Then gratuity, on retirement a person gets a gratuity. So gratuity is now it has made, इसमें change नहीं हुआ है, ये अभी last year इसको 20,000 कर दिया है, 10 lakh था, so ये 20 lakh तक की gratuity is non taxable. ठीक है, gratuity up to 20 lakh is exempted, इसको हम exemption बोलते हैं, exempted income. Then pension, for government employee, कम्यूटेड का मतलब होता है आपका कुछ अमाउंट बना रिटायरमेंट पे, उसने कुछ पैसा निकाल लिया, दैट इज कॉल्ड कम्यूटेड, आपने निकाल लिया. तो गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय के लिए तो जितना उसने निकाला फुल्ली एग्जेम्प्ट है, बट दूसरों के लिए, नॉन गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय, 1/3 आप जितना पैसा निकालते हो, सपोज किसी का टोटल पेंशन अमाउंट बना है लेट्स से 50 लाख, तो 50 लाख में से वो कहता है कि मैं उसका 1/3 निकालना चाहता हूं, मुझे मकान बनाना है, मुझे बच्चों की शादी करनी है, तो 1/3 विल बी टैक्स एग्जेम्प्टेड, एंड रेस्ट अगर उससे ज्यादा निकालता है तो वो बाकी टैक्सेबल हो जाएगा. अगर उसको ग्रेचुटी मिलती है तब 1/3 है, अगर ग्रेचुटी नहीं मिलती है तो हाफ, 50% ऑफ दैट अमाउंट विल बी एग्जेम्प्टेड फ्रॉम इनकम टैक्स. लीव सैलरी, बहुत सारे कैजुअल लीव, सिक लीव एक्सेट्रा मिलती हैं, तो उसको बाद में वो उसका एनकैशमेंट ले सकता है एम्प्लॉय. So for government employee, encashment is fully exempt, but for others there is a formula. So right, then any amount if you have received from a life insurance policy, any amount whether death claim or maturity claim is fully exempt. Then any amount you have received from statutory provident fund and public provident fund, that is PPF, is also fully exempt. Recognized provident fund or approved superannuation fund. HRA के लिए भी फॉर्मूला होता है, जो कंपनी से आपको HRA मिलता है उसका एक फॉर्मूला है. इसके लिए पूरा समझाना पड़ेगा. एक्चुअली आज तो इट वाज अ स्मॉल टीजर. तो स्पेशल अलाउंस मिलते हैं कई लोगों को, कन्वेंस अलाउंस, रिमोट एरिया अलाउंस, ट्राइबल एरिया में किसी की पोस्टिंग हो गई तो वहाँ 200 रुपए पर मंथ तक का एग्जेप्टेड है बस अलाउंस. चिल्ड्रन अलाउंस, एजुकेशन अलाउंस, सपोज किसी को एम्प्लॉय को अपने एम्प्लॉयर से मिल रहा है तो 100 रुपए पर महीना, ये बहुत पुराने रूल बने हुए हैं. तो ये वाले तो हॉस्टल अलाउंस 300 रुपए पर महीने में तो यार आजकल एक टाइम का वो भटूरे छोले भी नहीं आते हल्दीराम, तो वहां तक ये दिया हुआ है एग्जेम्पशन. स्कॉलरशिप, हाँ, इफ यू आर गेटिंग एनी स्कॉलरशिप इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द अमाउंट, इट इज टोटली टैक्स फ्री, टैक्स एग्जेम्प्टेड है. अगर आपको कोई अवार्ड मिला जैसे भारत रत्न, परमवीर चक्र, इसके अंदर कैश प्राइज भी मिलता है, वो सारा एग्जेम्प्टेड होता है. डिविडेंड, ये आपने बताया ना, अभी तक फुली एग्जाम था 3 साल पहले तक, अब 10 लाख तक का आपका डिविडेंड जो है वो टैक्स फ्री है. ये 3 साल से हो गया कि 10 लाख तक का डिविडेंड टैक्स फ्री है. उससे पहले तो इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द अमाउंट डिविडेंड यूज्ड टू बी टोटली टैक्स फ्री. तो दीज आर सम ऑफ द, इसके अलावा भी कुछ हैं. So there are certain rules of these are called exemptions. So what we were talking about, deductions, right? So you cannot avail of any deduction. अभी गवर्नमेंट ने एक और रूल बनाया है. गवर्नमेंट ने कहा है कि अगर आपकी इनकम, लेट अस से किसी की इनकम है, टोटल इनकम किसी की है 5 लाख, ओके, तो इसका टैक्स कितना बनेगा? फर्स्ट 2.5 लाख एट द रेट ऑफ 0% इज इक्वल टू 0, ठीक है ना? अरे इक्वल टू 0. फिर आ गया, आर यू हियर विद मी?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Next
Yes, sir.
2.5
Yes, sir.
lakh. Good. At the rate of 5%. मैं बड़ा सिंपल एग्जांपल ले रहा हूँ. 5 लाख कमाने वाले का टैक्स बैठ गया 12,500. इसके ऊपर सेस लगेगा 5% का. तो गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया, अपने टैक्स स्लैब्स को चेंज नहीं किया. गवर्नमेंट ने एक और रिबेट दिया है. उन्होंने कहा अगर आपकी इनकम 5 लाख तक है, 5 लाख, अगर आपकी इनकम 5 लाख 10 रुपया भी हो गई तो आपको ये रिबेट नहीं मिलेगा. तो एक रिबेट का मतलब होता है डिस्काउंट अंडर सेक्शन, एक सेक्शन बनाया गवर्नमेंट ने 87A. उसमें उन्होंने कहा है कि रिबेट मिलेगा मैक्सिमम 12,500 का ही आपको डिस्काउंट मिल जाएगा. तो ये रिबेट मिल गया, यानी कि लेस रिबेट. जैसे आप कहीं ट्राउजर खरीदने जाते हैं, वो ट्राउजर कह रहा है 50% डिस्काउंट, तो ट्राउजर का रेट है 1200 रुपया, लेस 1200 पहले बिल में दिखाएगा ना अपने इनवॉइस में, फिर लेस करेगा 50%, 600. तो आप बोलोगे यार सीधे 6% दिखा देता. वो दिखाना चाहता है कि भाई देखो आप, मैं 1200 की चीज आपको 600 रुपए में दे रहा हूँ. तो इसीलिए गवर्नमेंट दिखाना चाहती है भाई टैक्स है. स्लैब रेट में चेंज नहीं करा गवर्नमेंट ने, लेस रिबेट हो गया. सो नेट टैक्स पेएबल इज इक्वल टू निल, 0 हो गया इसका टैक्स. तो कई लोग कहते हैं कि 5 लाख तक टैक्स नहीं है. 5 लाख तक टैक्स इसलिए नहीं है, वो स्लैब नहीं है. अगर इसकी इनकम होती, अगर किसी की इनकम होती 5 लाख 100 रुपीज बस एक्स्ट्रा है इसकी, इसको नहीं मिलेगा, ये वही देगा. इसका हम कैसे निकालेंगे? 5 लाख, पहला 2.5 लाख 0%, नेक्स्ट 2 लाख कितना बचेगा? 50,100 होगा, हो जाएगा ना इसकी इनकम. 2,50,100 के ऊपर 5% लग गया, 100 रुपए का 5% और कितना बैठा? 5 रुपया. तो 12,505 रुपया टैक्स देगा, और इसके ऊपर फिर आप 4% का सेस भी लगाओगे, तो ये टैक्स देगा. हाँ, अगर किसी की इनकम है लेट अस से 3 लाख, अब इसकी इनकम किसी की हो गई 3 लाख रुपीस, इसका टैक्स पहला 2.5 लाख जीरो हो गया, इसके ऊपर कितने के ऊपर लगेगा? 50,000 के ऊपर टैक्स लगेगा, 50,000 एट द रेट ऑफ 5%। कितना हो गया? 50,000 का 5%, 2,500। इसको लेस कितना होगा? इसको 12,500 थोड़ी लेस होगा, इसका होगा 12,500, और एक्चुअल टैक्स विच एवर इज लेस इसको वही हो जाएगा 2,500। तो नेट टैक्स पेबल इज इक्वल टू nil। So 87A रूल बोलता है that if a income is up to 5 lakh rupees, then whatever is the tax will be waived off, subject to the maximum of 12,500, जो कि पूरे 5 लाख की इनकम पे बैठता है। अगर 5,100,000 भी उसकी इनकम है तो ये रिबेट उसको नहीं मिलेगा। ये दोनों टैक्स स्लैब पे लागू होता है, वेदर द टैक्स स्लैब इज, चाहे आप ये वाला फॉर्मूला लगाइए, ये वाला 5%, 20% और 30% वाला, इसमें भी ये रिबेट है, और चाहे ये वाला आपने फॉर्मूला लगाया 2.5 to 7.5, 7.5 to 10, ये 5, 10, 15 वाला, इसमें भी ये है। Therefore, therefore in the new tax formula, now if you wish to choose the new tax regime, then you will have to forget the below deductions or exemption। लीव ट्रैवल कंसेशन नहीं मिलेगा, हाउस रेंट अलाउंस आपको नहीं मिलेगा, एमपीज एमएलएस को भी कुछ अलाउंसेस मिलते हैं, वो भी नहीं मिलेंगे एमपीज एमएलएस को। अलाउंस फॉर इनकम ऑफ माइनर, SEZ यूनिट्स का अलाउंस मिलता है, ये स्पेशल इकोनॉमिक जोन का, स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन, एंटरटेनमेंट अलाउंस, कुछ नहीं मिलेगा आपको नए फॉर्मूला में। इंटरेस्ट भी इन द केस ऑफ सेल्फ ऑक्यूपाइड वैकेंट प्रॉपर्टी, बहुत सारे क्लासेस हैं जो मैंने आपको, उसके लिए बहुत टाइम चाहिए, पूरे सेमेस्टर का कोर्स है ये। हाउस प्रॉपर्टी वगैरह में जितने भी ये डेप्रिसिएशन, डिडक्शंस, कुछ नहीं मिलेंगे ये आपको। तो ये बिल्कुल, तो ये लोगों ने देखना है हमें किसमें फायदा है। सिर्फ यही नहीं है कि जो आपने इन्वेस्टमेंट किया है नहीं किया है, सिर्फ वही नहीं मिलेगा, और भी बहुत सारे, अगर आप एम्प्लॉय हैं आपको स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन मिलता है 50,000 स्टेट अवे स्टैंडर्ड डिडक्शन मिलता है एक सैलरीड एम्प्लॉय को, जो उसकी इनकम से लेस हो जाता है, वो भी नहीं मिलेगा इस नए फॉर्मूले। तो अभी क्या होगा, अभी आने वाले टाइम में, अभी इसी साल नहीं, इस साल तो खैर अप्लाई नहीं है इस असेसमेंट ईयर में, नेक्स्ट असेसमेंट ईयर में जो चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट्स हैं उनका काम डबल हो जाएगा, और वो फीस भी ज्यादा मांगेंगे, क्योंकि जो भी एसएससी होगा वो यही बोलेगा कि सर मेरा दोनों फार्मूले से कैलकुलेट करके बताओ किससे मेरा इनकम टैक्स कम बैठता है। तो वो दोनों से कैलकुलेट करेगा, पूरा सब लगाएगा, तो उसको टाइम लगेगा और चार्जेस भी थोड़े ज्यादा लेगा। तो सॉरी, so any questions till now, whatever we have discussed about?
सर ये जो टीवी शोज होते हैं उसमें विनिंग प्राइज होता है, जैसे कौन बनेगा करोड़पति में, तो वो सब प्राइज में भी टैक्स लगते हैं क्या?
Yes. मजे की बात ये है, जितने भी क्विज शोज होते हैं, गेम शोज होते हैं, या लॉटरी होती है, उसके अंदर गवर्नमेंट ने एक फ्लैट रेट लगाया हुआ है कि 30% सीधे उसका टैक्स चला जाता है, इसके अंदर फिर स्लैब रेट नहीं लगता। ऑल दैट इनकम फ्रॉम विच इज कॉल्ड एज अ क्विक इनकम फ्रॉम एनी टीवी शोज, क्विज शोज, जैकपॉट्स, स्ट्रेट अवे देयर इज अ फ्लैट रेट ऑफ 30% विच इज डिडक्टेड फ्रॉम दिस इनकम। अगर किसी ने 1 करोड़ रुपया कौन बने करोड़पति में कमा लिया है, तो स्ट्रेट अवे उसका 30 लाख रुपीस तो उसका टैक्स नहीं चला गया, उसके हाथ में सिर्फ 70 लाख आए। और हाँ, एक और जब रूल है, गिफ्ट इज ऑल्सो टैक्सेबल इन इंडिया। गिफ्ट अप टू 50,000 रुपीज इन 1 फाइनेंशियल ईयर इज नॉन टैक्सेबल। अगर मुझे साल में कई बार बहुत सारे गिफ्ट मिलते हैं कहीं से, तो गिफ्ट कैन बी इन काइंड, गिफ्ट कैन बी इन कैश। इवन इफ समबडी हैज गिवन मी इन काइंड, मेरे को कोई किसी ने मोबाइल फोन दे दिया, किसी ने मेरे को स्टीरियो दे दिया कोई, सो दैट इज, उसकी भी वैल्यू इनकम टैक्स कैलकुलेट कर लेगा। और अगर 50,000 से ऊपर जो गिफ्ट है अगर उनकी वैल्यू आती है, दैट इज टैक्सेबल इनकम इन माय हैंड्स। ओनली एक्सेप्शन इज ऑन द मैरिज सेरेमनी एंड बर्थडे। मैरिज में और बर्थडे में अगर कोई गिफ्ट मिले हैं दोज आर एग्जेम्प्टेड, अदरवाइज ऑल अदर गिफ्ट्स की वैल्यू है पूरे साल भर में, द मैक्सिमम एग्जेम्पशन लिमिट इज 50,000।
सर अगर कोई स्टूडेंट कोई क्विज शो जीतता है एंड मे बी सिर्फ 4 लाख जीतता है और बाकी के पूरे ईयर में कोई इनकम नहीं है, तभी भी स्ट्रेट 30% हो जाएगा डिडक्ट?
हाँ, उसमें एक ये गवर्नमेंट ने थोड़ा सा एक रूल बनाया है कि 4 लाख में अप टू 2.5 लाख का उसको एग्जेम्पशन मिलेगा, बाकी जो 1.5 लाख रुपया है उसके ऊपर स्ट्रेट अवे उसका 30% डिडक्ट हो जाएगा। 2.5 लाख की उसको एग्जेम्पशन मिलेगा।
ओके सर,
बेसिक एग्जेम्पशन उसको मिलेगा।
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
Sir, if we get a reward from the employer, then it will fall under the category of gift, or it will be against the profession?
Well, any reward or gift given by the employer is treated as the income, as the salary, part of the salary of the employee, because it's an employer-employee relationship. So here also, you know, the rules have changed in the past 10-15 years. Earlier, what used to happen कि employers क्या करते थे कि to save their employee from giving income tax and they want a senior employee, so his salary on paper used to be very less, but the employer used to give him a lot of perks, that like free house, free conveyance, free electricity, free education to the children. Nowadays, all these are called perks or perquisites. Now the rule is that even the value of the perquisites will be calculated and it will be taxed in the hands of the employee. So even if अगर फैक्ट्री है और फैक्ट्री में मकान दिया हुआ है आपको एम्प्लॉयर ने, तो उस एरिया में क्या रेट है, उसका रेंटल वैल्यू क्या है, उसके हिसाब से उसके पूरे रूल्स हैं, वो इनकम उसमें जोड़ दी जाएगी एम्प्लॉय के इनकम में। कार दी हुई है उसको, तो कार की जो डेप्रिसिएशन बनता है वो सारा उसमें ऐड कर दिया जाएगा। कार की वैल्यू का डेप्रिसिएशन विल बी एडेड इन द सैलरी। उसका पेट्रोल के चार्जेस, उसके ड्राइवर के चार्ज की जो सैलरी जा रही है वो भी एम्प्लॉय की सैलरी में, मेन एम्प्लॉय की सैलरी में ऐड कर दी जाएगी। सो गवर्नमेंट हैज बिकम वेरी क्लेवर, so all these rules are there. Another very interesting rule is that, इसके बाद हम इसको थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चंस ही हम ले रहे हैं। एक और रूल है which is called clubbing of income rule. क्लबिंग ऑफ इनकम का रूल ये होता है कि लेट्स से मेरी इनकम, जैसे अभी हम 12 लाख का केस स्टडी कर रहे थे, लेट्स से मेरी इनकम 12 लाख है और 12 लाख के ऊपर मैं अगर मैं सपोज कर लिया मैंने सारे डिडक्शन एग्जम्पशंस क्लेम कर लिए, उसके बाद नेट इनकम मेरी 12 लाख बनी है, तो टैक्स आपने देखा ना 12 लाख के ऊपर 1,79,000 समथिंग बनता है। अब मैं उसको क्या करूंगा, मैं अपनी इनकम को स्प्लिट कर दूंगा, मैं अपना गिफ्ट दिखा दूंगा अपनी वाइफ को कि 6 लाख रुपया मैंने अपनी वाइफ को दे दिया, चलो उनके हाथ में टैक्सेबल हो जाएगा, वो 6 लाख के ऊपर वो देंगी टैक्स 6 लाख के ऊपर, क्योंकि स्लैब रेट 6 लाख का मतलब है पहला 2.5 लाख फ्री हो गया, अगला 2.5 लाख 5% 12,500, तो बाकी 1 लाख पे 20% कितना हो गया 20,000, तो 20,000 32,500 कहाँ मैं दे रहा था 1,80,000 और कहाँ मैं 32,500 वो मैं दूंगा, 32,500 मेरी वाइफ देंगी। तो गवर्नमेंट कहती है अच्छा भाई आप बड़े होशियार हैं, हम मतलब बेवकूफ हैं, आपने इनकम तो मेरी वाइफ है मैं गिफ्ट तो दे ही सकता हूँ ना, और उनसे टैक्स भी दिलवा दिया, उसके ऊपर उनकी इनकम हो गई, तो लेकिन 32,500 मैंने दिया, 32,500 उन्होंने दिया, तो 65,000 रुपए में हम छूट गए, और कहाँ मैं 1,80,000 देता अगर अकेला अपनी इनकम को लेता। तो इसके लिए एक रूल है गवर्नमेंट का विच इज कॉल्ड क्लबिंग ऑफ इनकम। तो इनकम टैक्स रूल सेज दैट इफ आई गिव एनी मनी टू माय वाइफ और टू माय चिल्ड्रन, it will be treated as my own income only. Government says you can give money as you like to anybody, but we will treat it as your income only. It will be charged under one head only. So I can give money to my my children or my spouse. It is called clubbing of income. And not only that, suppose I have given 6 lakh rupees to my wife, and she invested in a FD, or let's say in some shares or whatever, or in mutual funds. So whatever money she has earned will also be treated as my income. That will also be added in my income only. only when my wife further reinvest that interest and then make money from that interest, then it will be treated as her income. But first time, whatever money is being generated, because it was my money, whatever income has been generated, it will be treated as my income. So government is also very clever. So there are rules and regulations for that. Any other question, please?
Hello, yes, sir. Rishabh this side. So
Rishabh.
suppose if yes, sir, suppose a company is run by the four brothers, and one brother is a HUF, and after a while, another brother wants a loan from a bank, and bank asks for income proof. Then how he will figure out?
1 minute. Let me dissect your question. Your question says that there are four brothers. They are partners in one business, and one of the brother is a HUF.
Yes, sir.
And then next completed, then that brother wants some loan. You are saying that HUF.
No, sir. Then another brother, suppose ABCD is a brother and A is HUF. Then after a while, B wants loan from bank and bank asks for his income proof. Then how will B figure out the situation? Because the tax is paying by the brother A.
No, okay. See, in a HUF, you are saying A is the eldest brother. See, in HUF, if A is the karta of his HUF, then B, C, and D, his brothers, cannot be a member of his HUF. As I said earlier, HUF में जो A है, उसकी वाइफ और उसके बच्चे ही मेंबर हो सकते हैं, उसके ब्रदर्स उसके मेंबर नहीं हो सकते. तो बी का कोई लेना देना उसके HUF से नहीं होगा.
No, sir. My question is that a company run by a, मतलब अगर टैक्स दे रहा है तो कोई एक कंपनी टैक्स दे रहा है ना, तो फिर उनके ब्रदर को उससे फायदा नहीं हो पा रहा है बाद में.
See, we are all individual taxpayers also, no? The firm pays its tax, then individually also, whatever profit they are earning from the partnership firm will not be further taxed. But if you are a director in a company, you are a promoter of a company, company's rules are different, partnership firms and proprietorship firms rules are different. If you company is a different entity from its member. If you are a promoter of a company, then company also pays tax, and you as a director or as a member of the company also pays tax individually. So the same income is taxed so many times over there. That is the rule.
Thank you.
So therefore, individually, if A is one of the partner, if he is availing some tax, some loan, maybe for his own personal purpose, then he has to show his own income tax returns and his firm's balance sheets. So firm की balance sheet तभी आपको show कर सकते हैं. There may be any other partner. The partners may be his brother, maybe his friends, or maybe any other third person also. Hani is asking one question that, sir, if anybody earn money by selling their cow, then in this case, the money will be taxable or not? Okay. Cow, if anybody is selling their cow. Yes, it will be taxable. Agricultural income is not taxable, but if the cow is being used for dairy is not typically agriculture. Yes, if he can prove कि गांव में उसके he is अपने जैसे कहते हैं ना, अपनी फील्ड को जोतने के लिए उसने बैलों का इस्तेमाल कर रहा है, वो he is using the bullocks or maybe cows to make his land fertile. So if anything is being used for agricultural purpose, agricultural means anything coming out of the land, anything sprouting out of the land, it may be a plant, it may be a flower, it may be a fruit, it may be a vegetable, then it is an agricultural income. If you have a warehouse in the agricultural land, and in that warehouse you are stacking all those agricultural products, आप अपना धान रख रहे हो, अपनी सब्जी रख रहे हो, फल रख रहे हो, तो वो भी एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम का पार्ट है, तो वो एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम आएगी. आपको ये प्रूफ करना पड़ेगा कि वो एग्रीकल्चरल इनकम में सहायक है. सिंपली आपने शहर में कोई काऊ रखी हुई है, आप उससे डेयरी चला रहे हो, या आपने अपने इंडिविजुअल पर्पस से रखी हुई है और उससे आपने प्रॉफिट कमाया है उसको सेल करने के लिए, इट इज अ taxable income. So honey, so yes, if you use it for agricultural purpose, so you have to correlate it that it is related to that agriculture, then yes, then it will be non-taxable. Any other question? If you want, we can have another session on it. We can further take it forward on this tax planning, because it's a very vast field. How did you like the session? Was it useful to you?
Yes,
another question has come. Okay, Ayush Srivastav, he's saying, sir, if our slab is under tax, but by selling some product we earn above 2.5 lakh, then? I could not understand your question. If our slab is under tax, but by selling...
Sir, hello?
Yes.
Sir, I meant to say that if I sell goat in any festival or what, and we earn above 2.5 lakhs by selling, then it will be counted?
Yes. Income up to 2.5 lakh is not taxable. Any income above 2.5 lakh will come under tax. Now you have to find ways how to save that tax. Yes.
Okay. So like in a certain month, if we earn above that, and
no tax
under PL card, then
if in a certain month you earn income and you are under...
Your voice is not audible.
You are under what card?
BPL. Below poverty line.
नहीं तो वो बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन के लिए फिर वो एलिजिबल ही नहीं होगा. बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन के लिए कितनी इनकम का स्लैब वो है? आई एम नॉट श्योर. एक मिनट अभी नेट पे देख लेते हैं. बीपीएल इनकम लिमिट इन इंडिया कितनी है? बीपीएल की 1 लाख है शायद. कितनी है? नहीं. BPL for rural areas was set at annual family income less than 20,000, less than 2 hectares land and no television और refrigerator. तो BPL तो देखो ये नहीं, सॉरी, ये तो बहुत पुराना आ गया, 2002 का. 2019 का है. इसमें ये वाला होगा लेटेस्ट. मिनिमम इनकम लिमिट फॉर BPL कार्ड्स, ये अभी लास्ट 2019 का है. बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन देखो 2.5 लाख वाला भी बीपीएल में नहीं आएगा. बीपीएल के तो बहुत कम इन्होंने इनकम बताइए. अभी मैंने आपसे वो शेयर नहीं किया हुआ इनकम. एक मिनट, मैं अपनी स्लाइड शेयर करता हूँ आपके साथ. देखिए इसमें यहाँ लिखा हुआ है मिनिमम इनकम लिमिट अप टू बीपीएल कार्ड. पंचकुला द स्टेट गवर्नमेंट ऑन ट्यूसडे एनहांस्ड द मिनिमम इनकम लिमिट to 10,000 per month to 15,000 so as to ensure that more families get. 10,000 से तो मतलब हाँ 2.5 लाख तक हो गया. तो 10,000 महीने से 15,000 महीने तक का. मनोहर लाल खट्टर एंड ऑल. चलिए एनीवे, आपका क्वेश्चन क्या था कि अगर 2.5 लाख से उसकी ऊपर इनकम, क्या क्वेश्चन क्या था आपका?
हाँ सर, जैसे इसने पूछा था काऊ ये सेल करके, तो उसी तरह मैंने ये पूछा था कि जैसे इस समय सर फेस्टिवल आ रहा है मुस्लिम्स का, जैसे गोट सेल करने का.
हाँ हाँ.
तो जैसे सर एक गोट का जैसे वो लोग बेचते हैं तो अराउंड 50,000 30,000
हाँ हाँ
इस टाइप के रेट में आता है. अगर उन्होंने 4 to 5 या उसके अबव एक्सीड किया, जैसे उन लोग की इनकम जो है फिर एक मंथ में 2.5 लाख से ऊपर चली गई, तो
देखो एक मंथ में हो आपकी इनकम या पूरे साल में हो, दिस इज व्हाट मैंने आपको शुरू में बोला था. गवर्नमेंट बोलती है पूरे साल का हम इनकम आपका निकाल लेंगे, उसके हिसाब से आपको टैक्स देंगे. भले ही आपने 10 लाख रुपया एक ही महीने में कमा लिया, हमें उससे मतलब नहीं है. हम तो साल भर का टैक्स आपसे, साल भर का रेट है इनकम का, उसके हिसाब से आप पेमेंट दे दो. और अभी तो गवर्नमेंट ने एक और रूल बनाया है. पहले क्या था, एक रूल कि भाई हम साल के बाद में, सपोज मैंने सारा पैसा, मेरी चाहे इनकम 25 लाख रुपए हो गए साल में, और मैंने सारा उड़ा दिया। पैसा खर्च करने में कितना टाइम लगता है? आई स्टार्ट गोइंग टू 5-star hotels and bought all luxury items in my home, so there was nothing left to pay for taxes at the end of the year. So now at the end of the year I will say, no, I am left with nothing to pay taxes. So government will just file cases against me, and cases will drag for years. So to avoid that, government says the moment your tax limit exceeds certain limits, you have to pay tax after every quarter. So now that is known as advance tax. So now we have to pay tax every quarter also, if I feel that my tax is going to exceed, my income is going to exceed. Fine.
Okay, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so now I think we will come to an end of this session, and I hope you have liked this session. I hope this session was informative and have given some insights to you. And if you want further extension, we can have one more session, so you can let me know about that. So till then, thank you so much for attending this session, and take care. And I will say namaskar, sat sri akal, shabba khair, adab, and good evening. Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.